Good morning, Facebook friends, afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I know I have a lot of people now on here that aren't necessarily in the US and they're all over the world, so who knows what time it is for you. It's a Saturday, it's Ohio, we're getting our first snow, which a lot of people may not enjoy, but I'm actually excited about. I actually asked for it this morning, and it's so funny because it wasn't snowing, and as soon as I decided to leave the house, it started snowing. So how does it get any better than that? So I, today, just wanted to come on and invite all of you to my call coming up on Wednesday that I get is offering something totally different than I've had the space to talk about, and part of that is why I'm doing a second video on this. I kind of did one last week and it wasn't nearly as fun. So the call itself is, what is the gift of giving? And what better time to look at it than the holidays, right? So there's a certain gift, or a certain energy to gifting or giving things to people. And one of the things that I've become very aware of in the last 2 to going on past 2 years now, with working with the Tools of Access Consciousness and meeting some of the people from all around the world that are involved in creating with the Tools of Access Consciousness. It's not just Gary and Dane, the founders, but there's hundreds of thousands of people around the world that are doing these classes and using these tools and creating telecalls and just contributing to creating a bit more consciousness in the world. And one of the things that we really discuss is giving and receiving. And being the generosity of spirit, being willing to give things to people, to gift to people with things, not from the space of feeling obligated, not from the space of feeling that it's required or that they need it, but from the space of what's actually going to create more for them. Like, what can I give? What can I gift to people that they're willing to have that can completely change not only the world of them, but invite the possibilities of what else is possible into their world. And so a lot of us are trained in giving things to people and having it entrained in us that if we aren't giving things away, if we aren't just giving things to people in need, then we're wrong and we're horrible people and that we're unkind. And this call has changed so many times in terms of what it wants to be called. And I finally have the title. I'm sorry, I have to move around a bit here. I finally have a title that to me is fitting the energy that I'm perceiving with it, which is, what is the gift of giving? Like, what does it actually mean to give? And is the gift of giving you? Is it giving something away? Is it giving something physical to somebody? Or is it something even beyond that? And so what I know about it, that's what the title of this video is, what I know. So what I do know is that the gift of giving is far more than what many of us have ever been willing to understand. It's far more and far greater than anything that we can logically comprehend. And it really is about getting into a space of generosity, into a space of giving, not from obligation, not from need, not from requirement, but from giving because that's what you know is going to contribute to the world. And so this call is probably, I don't want to say it is, because everything changes in 10 seconds, but more than likely this call will probably be the last call I do for 2018 as like an actual telecall. And I've actually decided in asking the class like what it wanted, and it didn't want to set a price, because one of the things you do when you're creating is you ask the call, you ask your business, what can I charge that most people will receive? Like, how can I get the most people on this call to actually receive the gift of the call? And so this call actually has to be a pay what you'd like or pay what you want, whatever word you'd like to use. But it really is designed. I don't care if you pay or you don't pay. I'm actually playing with giving the information out just to give it, just to get it out into the world, and invite people that would like a replay to pay. But it is pay what you want. There's no set cost, there's no set price. So it is about what you're willing to pay, what you're willing to receive from the call, and what can get created with understanding, like, not really understanding, but getting the energy of what it is to gift things. And so if you'd be willing, for those of you watching this now or who are watching it in the future, to just lower your barriers and lower your judgments and your points of view about me, about my business, about the calls, about giving, about receiving, about the holidays. Just drop all of those barriers. And just get the energy and the space that this call is and is inviting you to. Because if you're willing to get out of your points of view, out of your judgments, then you can start creating a life that's beyond what you know. So just lower your barriers and join me in these few short seconds of, like, the energy that this call has to give to all of us. What is it that this call is inviting into the world? And how different might your life look? How different might the world be? How different might your holiday seasons be? Birthdays, anniversaries, we're constantly giving. And what can you receive from this energy? What can you get from this call? What does this call want to give to you? So I want to personally invite each and every one of you to come and play with the gift of giving and looking at what it is about giving, what it is about receiving, and what the gift of you is. So for those of you that have followed my business or have looked up Access Your Magic, that's my the name of my business. But the question that created that business for me a year ago is, are you willing to acknowledge the gift that you be to the world? So that's what I'd like to invite all of you to, is to join me for this call to wrap up 2018 with something totally different. That's an invitation to something greater on the planet and in your life, and just tapping into what else is possible here. What else can we actually create if we're willing to have that and to be what's required? So that's all I have to say about it. I'll share it in the comments, but the link is also above in the description. The time may change, but I don't think it will. And what I want to show you, because I feel the need to show you, is that it is snowing. It's hard to see because I'm in my car. There we go. Now you can see it's snowing. Big, white, fluffy